Welcome back to The Matrix. Today's fact: cats aren't real. Cats are not real. Hang on, no, that's not right. I just made that up, that's a lie. There's no proof. Although saying that, there isn't any proof that cats necessarily are real. No, Matrix, please give us today's true cat-centric fact. That's just as weird. 10-year-old me was right. All cats come from Gallifrey, all dogs come from Scar. There is no shortage of cats in the Doctor Who series. Most of them are unnamed. Some of them have travelled in the TARDIS. Who could forget Rose the Cat, the pet cat of rap god Eramem, and Novice Haim, who was a kiddie so good the Doctor just had to go and stroke her before he died. Apparently every world has their own version, their own variation on cats. This is alarming because the Cats musical does exist in the Doctor Who canon, as witnessed in Survival. There's also a number of cast members who... Okay, God, no, don't think about that. Cats came in a variety of colours and shapes. The word cat itself is an acronym for calculating animals with tails. The short story The Legacy of Gallifrey has the gall, the audacity to claim cats. As before the Gallifreyans put down the stamp on time travel, their greatest feat was originally bioengineering the original cats. That was what Gallifrey did. As a planet, that was their thing. They then seeded the species throughout the universe as an attempt to set themselves up as gods. And lo and behold, many civilizations worshipped them. Mostly because the original cats could speak and were highly intelligent. I don't know how or when this crosses over with catkind, or those guys, or there's a lot of cat people. And this isn't just a disconnected joke, full on lore, a Gallifrey lore story. Because it actually adds up with other things the Doctor has said. He once told Donna that they weren't native to the planet Earth. Hang on, does the Doctor know about cats? The Gallifreyan origins, not the stage show. Sometimes aliens would disguise themselves as cats, which doesn't make this any less complicated. I think one time one of my commenters told me that the 8th Doctor once was a cat, and I couldn't work out whether he was fucking with me. But then I came across this. And yeah, he is a cartoon cat man. Meet TARDIS Tales, my new fairy persona, please do not steal. The Doctor himself has had a couple cats. When the Doctor experienced the events of human nature the first time, Joan Redfern gave him a cat called Wolsey, who stayed in the TARDIS for a long time. This is an old cat, until his successor bumped the cat off with Bernie Summerfield. And I can't say I've experienced any solo Bernice stories, but this image exists, so maybe I should get onto those immediately. There was also the cat given to him in Legacy of the Daleks, which I assume is around, right? It's not just starved in the TARDIS somewhere. It does need to be restated that the Doctor owns a cat called Rose, whose favourite activity is fucking up the TARDIS. Yeah, in Series 3, whenever he's angsting, just remember, he's going through some stuff. He named his cat after his ex. The Doctor discovered a cat aboard the TARDIS that had come aboard without his knowledge. After it jumps on the TARDIS console, the Doctor kicked it out on an alien planet. See, now that seems like a 6 move, but then you're not thinking about the brooches. It was actually McGann. And of course, how could I get through this segment without talking about Pussy World? Oh, that's what we're calling it, huh, Doc? This unfortunately named destination appears many times in the Whoniverse. I first came across this place in a Paul Mars short story, where the main villain was the warrior queen of Pussy World, Binky. At one point, the Pussy World was overrun with uprisings and beheadings. Wow, the wiki just has an extensive guide to every Doctor and their relationship to the house cat. That's nice. The takeaway from this, I'm sure, is that the Gallifreyans loved cats. So much that they decided to colonise the world with them. And then time travel came along, and they completely forgot about them. Number two, hey! Number two. Okay, cool, I can work with this. So fans of my back catalogue may actually know this one already, but there was a companion who travelled with the 3rd Doctor called Jeremy, and I hate his fucking guts.
I'm starving.
What?
It's lunchtime. In fact, it's half past lunchtime. How's the greatest novel of the 20th century coming along?
And now don't you start.
Recycling old material already, huh? On episode 18? Sad, really. Jeremy Fitzoliver. May he burn in hell if there is one. Of course there is one. It's the bird he is. An avid photographer and posh boy, Jeremy was a work colleague of one Sarah Jane Smith, slowly becoming a late member to the tight-knit unit gang. As everybody seems to despise him, except for the Doctor, who seems to think he's a stand-up guy. A cracking lad. Look, he's on exile, he'll take what he can get. And Jeremy went on several adventures. Luckily, we've never really seen any of them. I'm fine with this. But let's take a little gander at his time in the TARDIS, and also his kill count. Not the only companion with a kill count, but the only one who has one out of ineptitude. An accidental kill count of innocent human lives. In the Dead Man story, Jeremy is pressing random buttons on the TARDIS control and accidentally releases a burst of temporal energy that phased a random innocent man out of existence. Jake Morgan was just standing near the TARDIS one day, and then found himself in a reality where he could not interact with anyone. The Doctor is unable to bring him back, and the best he can do for him is giving him a final word with his fiancée, before leaving him to live out eternity. Yeah, Doc, I think that's maybe worse. There are no repercussions for Jeremy. In fact, the third Doctor travels with him some more after this event. He's very lenient. Nine would have bumped him on his ass. In fact, like with many posh boys, it actually worked out quite well for him, failing upwards into a place in government, with ties to Home Office. Yeah, that sounds about right. But then these two books do a fun little thing where they totally contradict one another. Where in a 6th Doctor adventure, Jeremy, 3 years prior, after accidentally wiping his own memories, Doctor, stop letting him touch your stuff. He was controlled and then killed by psychic aliens. But don't worry, he's fine. He comes back to life in 2009 to interview Luke Ratigan for the Metropolitan paper. Oh, I'll bet the faction were involved there and all. These Eton boys be wildin'. Namely with black magic. Oh yeah, did I mention? He also joined a cult worshipping an evil ancient alien species. Absolute mad lad. I hate him passionately. You know, you guys might bash certain companions who never really got their big moments, but there is no one more dislikable and downright pitiful than Jeremy Fitzoliver. Like, just try to listen to any story that he's in for 5 seconds and then get back to me. And last of all, we gotta talk about Paul Mars, Doctor Who writer and character. On his personal blog, Mars recently uploaded a lovely piece of 13th Doctor fanfic, exploring her Judoon imprisonment with postcards from Graham and cellmate Dusty Springfield. It sparks joy. Graham scolds her for dropping them off in 2020. You should absolutely read it. But Dusty Springfield isn't in the New Year's special. Nope, and this fact isn't about the New Year's special. Or Graham. Or Dusty Springfield. Sorry, I just love my dog. Her name's Dusty Springfield. It's about Paul. Paul Mars is hardly one for viewing canon as a limitation in his works. In fact, I don't think anybody breaks the fake rules of law more pleasantly than Mr. Mars. I mean, he's kind of made a career off of it. You might recognise the name from various BBC books, or maybe on a previous video about the Nestwood Chronicles. You know, the genie scarf. Or of course, you might full well know him as in-universe Doctor Who character Paul Mars. A literal self-insert. He inserted himself into the series, likely to the foaming jealousy of people who actually care about that kind of thing. And whilst we're in the business of parodying adherence to canon, I'm gonna have to start a new rule, that whenever I'm talking about Stephen Moffat, I probably mean sci-fi writer Stephen Moffat, not fictional character in the Whoniverse Stephen Moffat. Yeah, I see you boys trying to get your own Doctor Who action figure, but I gravitate towards Paul Mars because not only is he not a minor character, there's 2 of him. Paul Cornell wrote in his mate in his V&A Love and War. That's cheeky. That's like me trying to write in my friend Erin and legitimize her in Doctor Who canon. Or my dog Dusty. Leave her a nice comment, she likes to read the comments. But Paul Mars didn't need the shout out because he was about to enter the Doctor Who universe hard. The 21st century Whoniverse Paul, that's what we're gonna call him, was a young man who had celebrities and one Iris Wildthyme come to him in his dreams. The Doctor Who franchise as a disembodied spirit imprinted on this newborn. Iris is a fictional character in our world written by Paul Mars, but also a real friend of both the Doctors and the fictionalised author Whoniverse Paul. Still with me? What I'm saying is that Mars was written for both Iris and the Doctor in real life, but simultaneously, in universe, Wildthyme has told the Doctor all about him. And both Whoniverse Paul and our Paul Mars are the authors behind the fictional sci-fi series Iris Wildthyme, about a lesbian novelist, Greek goddess artist, possible faction creation time traveller, and her many adventures. Look, explaining her is a task, and one for another day, I think. More egregious to the idea of canon is Fester, Paul's actual in real life cat. Look, I'm just saying, make my dog canon, okay? Is my dog real? I need my dog to be real. It's very metatextual. When the text can interact with itself and attempt to depict reality, you end up with ultra postmodern characters like Iris and Whoniverse Paul, who fly in the very face of the concept of canon. Broke canon, more like freed canon. More like easily and ambivalently traversed canon. But I talk about Paul because in his big story, Bafflement and Devotion, of which he's the main character, Paul Mars not only legitimizes himself, but also, as a character who lives, by the way, in the Doctor's world, acknowledges that the Doctor looks like Patrick Troughton and Tom Baker. So now, hang on, they're actors in the Whoniverse? Oh man, it's like when the revival mentioned Kylie, and then had Astrid Peth. Like when both the War Doctor and the movie Alien exist.
That bit in Alien where that thing bursts out of John Hurt?
And then John Hurt gets name dropped. I always liked it when the Doctor referenced the works of Douglas Adams as if he wasn't a script editor of a section of his life. Oh, I don't know, man. The fourth wall just gets uninstalled in these situations. Making you realise what a fruitless and redundant task it would be to enforce rules not only on just Doctor Who stories, but stories in general. But hang on, hold the phone, before we finish up. There's 4 Tom Bakers. There's Doctor Who, and then 4 Tom Bakers. Oh, my brain. Thief of Sherwood. First Doctor story involves a man called Tom Baker playing a fictional character called Doctor Who. The girl who loved Doctor Who has a girl in our world with a giant Tom Baker poster on her wall. Ugh. Mars's Baker, which I guess is a world without the TV show Doctor Who. And then there's the TV action comic, where actual actor man Tom Baker saves the BBC from the dreaded Beep the Meep. Whew. That's 4. That's 4 Tom Bakers. 6 if you include the Nestwood Chronicles and the Curator. Wow, there really are a lot of parallel worlds where Doctor Who is a TV character. And worse still, we're in one of them. And on that existential note, I bid you adieu. Thank you for watching, and thank everybody who helps keep this channel afloat. If you fancy your name here, along with some sneak peeks and hidden videos, then check out that Ko-fi page in the description. Hell, maybe I'll be able to afford a better mic.